Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Voles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Indeedy. Oh, my goodness. We got a great show planned for you guys today. We got a whole lot of different topics we're going to talk about today, and looking forward to your interaction, to say the least. Absolutely. Absolutely looking forward to your interaction. And, oh my gosh, here it is. Hump day already. Can y'all believe it? I can't. I cannot believe it. There we are. I was going to say October. My God, it will be October before we know it. It feels like October out there today. It was like 47 or 48 or something this morning. Uh, Crazy, crazy temperatures, but it is hump day. Weather's awesome. Weather's going to be awesome for a pretty good stretch, it looks like. So we're looking forward to that. Hope your week's going as great as it can go, you know. And man, I tell you what, this weather makes it easy on all of us, doesn't it? I mean, just having the ability to schedule what you want to schedule and know that weather's not going to interfere. And, here we go, rocking and roll, right? So if you had one chance, one opportunity, would you take it or would you let it slip away? I don't know, but none of you guys are going to let anything slip away. You're too good for that. Way too good for that. But hey, I just appreciate the opportunity to be on here with each and every one of you all on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Talking a little bit about my experiences and sharing my knowledge a little bit with you guys. And I also like the fact that y'all share your knowledge with me, because hey, the beat goes on. And what I mean by that is we all get better. And when we all get better, the industry rises. And when the tide rises, man, the cream's going to come to the top and you're going to lead the pack. So let's let that cream come to the top. Let's help each other out. Let's become a better industry than what we are. And hey, and I'm not saying we're a bad industry at all. I'm just saying that, hey, there's always room for improvement. Absolutely. Doesn't matter what company size you are, small, medium, large, whatever. 5X, I don't care what size company you are. There's always room for improvement. And that's what we get to learn from each other is how do we take advantage of each other's knowledge? And the way you do it is right here on Turfs Up Radio. You know, Turfs Up Radio is the place to take advantage of that knowledge, to say the least. So I know today we're out doing a little bit of mowing, a few cleanups, got a little landscape work going on. We already got a crier this morning. Oh my God. I can't wait to talk to y'all about that. But I'm looking really forward to that. But hey, Seth, good morning, my friend. Glad you're here with us. Looking forward to you being on with us today and getting your input, because I know you're going to have a lot of good input. You always do with us this morning. And no problem on that, buddy. No problem. But we got tonight at 7 as well. So, Seth, appreciate you listening and appreciate you tuning in as always, my friend. And together, we all win. That's just it. Together, we all win. If you had one shot, one opportunity, would you take it or are you just going to let it slip away? Well, I know one thing. The guys that I hang out with here on Turfs Up Radio, starting with you, none of us let things slip away, not intentionally. Not intentionally. And if something does slip out of the grasp of our reality, what do? We go back and get it. We go back and get it. And that's something we're going to talk a little bit about today, is what are we going back to get? What are we going back to grab? Speaking of going back to grab, oh my God, oh my gosh. Hard to believe, like I said, we're doing a little bit of everything today. Got some kill outs going on today, some weed control applications going today. This is going to be great weed killing weather. We're talking about temperatures in the 70s. These plants are just going to suck this herbicide up and just die, So it's what we're looking forward to. Yes, indeed. So, but speaking of an opportunity, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, to each their own. I'm not trying to push anything on anybody, but the Powerball, I think, is up to like 815 million or something. Don't quote me on that. And I'm not suggesting that you go out and buy a ticket. I'm just saying that, we all think a lot of ways to try to go out and make some money and work hard and do all those things. And a lottery ticket is probably, you might as well set it on fire and throw it away, the money that you spend on it. But it's
292 million to 1.
is that the chances? Oh my God.
Your chances are a little under a million to 1 or whatever it is, million to 1 to win the 50,000 though.
Oh, so that'd be all right.
Yeah.
50 grand go a long way.
Yeah.
You know, heck yeah, I'd take that 50. I ain't, yeah, heck yeah. You know, uh, Corey says if we got an office pool going along, he wants in. So, but I mean, that's just crazy. I think Katie said it's what's the seventh largest. And you can buy a ticket.
We could do a Turf's Up ticket with,
we could do a Turf's Up ticket, Katie said. You can buy one online. So if anybody wants to do that, gosh.
I would be almost afraid, depending on how big the office was, because there's got to be one psychopath in there that's like, if we win, I'm killing somebody to get a bigger share.
To get a bigger share? Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, if y'all want to do it, y'all can Venmo me and put Powerball on it so we know what it's all about. Yep. And we'll get us a ticket and we'll have us a Profit Time Turfs Up Radio ticket option here, because no matter how many people get involved, there's going to be plenty of money to go around. John says, if I win the Powerball, I'm buying a hot dog cart. Hell yeah, we're all going to franchise into the hot dog cart business. That's awesome.
That would be one of the coolest things about winning so much money, is that you could just do things like that and have no worry and care about it. You could just be like, oh, I might set up a hot dog cart, next week, and just hire somebody to go do all the permits and the this and the that, and then you go do it, and you might have fun, you might not, but then you're just like, all right, I'm done with that.
Yeah, yeah. You could have a whole lot of easy exits with that kind of money. Whew. It's crazy how many people win something like that, though, and end up with nothing. But
oh, yeah.
I want the chance to show everybody I'd be different.
I don't know, though, how many people win the big one, though,
yeah,
and end up with that. Because to me, it's like you have skill. If you can blow, let's just cut it in half and say you're taking the cash of, let's say, 400 million. You have skill if you can blow $400 million.
Yeah.
In 40 years, even.
It'd be like that movie Brewster's Millions. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that or not, but where he inherits all that money from his grandpa or will, but he gets him to where he hates money.
Yeah.
He gives him so much and he's got to spend it.
I can't remember how much it is,
and not have any assets. I can't remember how much it was, but
the amount that he has to blow.
Yeah.
He can either not do it and take like $1 million or something.
30 million and 30. So he's got to spend 30 million in 30 days with no assets. And then he gets 300 million. So I'd be like this, because I think the cash payout on this thing, they said, was like that. Corey said, yeah, 30 million. Thanks, Corey.
That's crazy. That's just. Or just 1 million.
Or 1 million and go home.
And this is what, in the 80s, maybe?
Yeah, it's an old movie.
70s or 80s.
You could have taken the million back then and been good.
Yeah.
But the American greed took over, Oh, my God. Seth said, Daniel, you're getting wrote up for that stat. I'm not sure which one it was.
292 million to 1 or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Given the bad stat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's going to win it, though. Somebody eventually is going to have the ticket.
But as I always say, and as me and Kyle were talking about, somebody doesn't have to win it. And that, to me, is false advertising.
Yeah. Where they say somebody's going to win, might as well be you, or whatever.
Somebody's got to win.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't got to win.
Yeah. It's not a, what'd y'all call it? It's not a raffle. So. I don't know. Again, I'm not suggesting you guys spend 10 cents on a ticket, but if you would like to, we will be happy to buy a ticket and post it up on our website for you. Feel free to Venmo me. What's a ticket run? I mean, what do we want people to spend? Send us $1, $2.
How does it work? How do the pots work?
You can buy any volume you want. Yeah, they're
But don't
$2
you? I
increments.
thought the idea of the office pool thing was that everybody buys their own ticket, but then it's like we're all in it together. Whoever wins, we all split it.
We're getting some
10
20
plays for
bucks.
$20. So
So if anybody wants in, just text me and let me know,
yeah.
and we'll figure it out. But it'd be fun. I mean, the only problem's going to be if we win like $4 because we hit the Powerball going 20 ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Katie says if we win less than 10, we'll just reinvest.
The odds of the double win have to be astronomical.
Yeah. Oh my God. But anyways, if anybody wants to play, let us know.
We were talking about this as well on the ride home yesterday, me and Kyle, about
Corey said you're right, Daniel. Whatever.
oh, for the office pool thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Um there was a guy that recently sold a bunch of Bitcoin for
Yeah.
like $2 billion. He sold like 200 and something coins or something like that. I can't remember how much it was. And for like 2 billion. And we were trying to figure out why does somebody all of a sudden need $2 billion? You know? That's one thing we thought of. And then we were thinking, or I started thinking, imagine having that much money that isn't really money and then just like living your life. You know? This guy must already be very, very wealthy
Yeah.
in order to have, because he had like another
Probably.
$17 billion worth of this coin that he didn't sell or whatever it was, something even bigger. So imagine you're just chilling, living your everyday life, knowing you have 19 billion possible dollars, but also that this market could go down and you could lose it all.
And not, yeah. God, you go from a 19 billionaire.
So, like, once again, how does someone even if you're just like the average Joe go into your 9 to 5? There's no way that you could function in your life knowing you're also a possible billionaire. Like
It's pretty crazy.
you're not putting up with anything if you know you have $19 billion.
No, you're right. You're right. So, all right. Well, man, we certainly appreciate all the input on that. And again, if anybody wants to play with us, let us know, man. We'll be happy to. Katie, get a ticket. We'll put a picture of the ticket out there so you guys know we're not cheating. In case another ticket that we individually buy, would win. But we could do it. We could do it. God, that'd be so cool. I'm just here to
How
tell
about
you.
this for the next, until the next drawing or whatever, however we would want to do it. If we win the Powerball, everybody in the profit circle gets $1 million. We win the big one.
On what now?
On what now?
On the.
So if we win the big grand prize, everybody that is in the profit circle gets $1 million.
Oh,
So
that's
go join the profit circle.
yeah, that's fair. That'll be awesome. Yeah, and you can't join after the
No,
drawing.
you have to.
Yeah,
You must
tell them how to join.
go if you want to be a millionaire with us. Then go to profitsareus.com and you'll see the profit circle clickable button right there. You can click on it. It'll take you to the profit circle. As you gotta do a sign up and you get your 7-day free trial,
Which would get you past the draw.
Yeah.
So really, you've got nothing to lose
Nothing
and
to
everything to gain. So yeah, good idea, Daniel. Good idea. Oh, okay. Seth said, okay, for that idea, Daniel, no write up. Take off Friday.
There we go.
There you go. So see, everybody's out for your best interest. Oh my gosh. Oh, Seth says he's got some Bitcoin. He can't imagine having 2 billion.
Dang.
Dang.
If bought Bitcoin in 2015, I can't remember. Kyle told me yesterday, but it was like $4,000 then for a coin or something like that, and it's up to like 100,000 now.
Wow.
I can't remember if those are exact numbers, but basically, it's not that long ago.
No, no,
Yeah.
not really, not in the grand scheme of time.
Yeah.
But anyways, hey, we'll try to help you become a millionaire in the profit circle anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless. But that'd be just a quick boost to get you there.
Talk about a get rich quick.
Get rich quick scheme. Damn, dog. All right. But anyways, hey, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. We'll get into our profit time show with you guys. So hang on right where you're at. We'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Profit Circle here on Turfs Up Radio. Yes, indeedy. But yeah, it's a great day to be alive. Weather's awesome. Matter of fact, speaking of the weather, um, Aaron, I appreciate your text, man. I'm responding to you as we speak, my friend. And Aaron's talking about an opportunity that he might have. But Bam Weather reached out to us today, and I'm sure they probably put it up online too. They put a lot of these kind of things up online, but it was Michael with Bam Weather. Um, he was saying, Daniel, and this is some good news temporarily, that we're going to have more cold fronts move through in the next 10 to 15 day time period. And the reality of it is it's going to be really cold. He said, especially next week, once potentially moving through it toward the end of the week.
Yeah.
That's going to be even colder than what we're experiencing now in this part of the country.
Wow.
And here's the kicker to the whole thing, though.
Snow on Labor Day.
Snow on Labor Day. No, no, but he said the upper Midwest potentially could see some frost, which would be way early even for them.
Yeah.
So that'd be crazy. Talk about your growing season getting a little jacked up. And,
Yeah.
Farmers and.
Well, didn't I remember at the beginning of the season, kind of in earlier spring, we were going through all that water, and you were talking about when are things gonna heat up and dry out a little bit, and I think he was talking about, was it there or was it was somewhere near there, the Great Plains or something. He said it was gonna have a hot and dry, which I don't know how it played out. Then you
Right.
go from hot and dry potentially to cold and frozen. Like
Yeah,
that's a heck of like you said, just growing conditions to
it is.
go through.
So, and like I'm Mike on BAM Weather didn't bring it up and or what they sent us, but you know I'm sure it's going to get warm again. Matt Griffin even talked about that Monday with us, but
Yeah.
it's just a pretty good extension on cool weather.
It does make you wonder, like, because we see that the season is starting earlier. Does it mean that the growing season is going to be at the same endpoint, or does it shorten to somewhere else? Or
Well, here's personally what I've seen the last several years here, just in our market. Is that we get a cooler period in September, but then it warms back up because we've been able to continue seeding into October,
yeah,
which is something we would have never done, say, I don't know, 10 years ago.
I remember even
8 years
last year,
ago.
like you were talking about, telling people, hey, this is kind of a weird thing, but into this part of October that it's just working. It's still working. We can still do this.
Yeah.
So it's just.
So I think this is a cool, no pun intended, code snap, if you will.
Yeah.
Because this would be really cold in the winter. I mean, you're 15 degrees below normal in December, January, or February, and I mean you're single digit numbers, man. So, or close to it, and that's going to change wherever guys are listening to us, but. I don't know. We'll see. So you guys count on some cool, dry weather. Not that you're not going to have any type of precipitation, but he did say the precipitation is going to be very limited, in this region of the country from, like Minnesota on east and south, for next 15 days or so. So
there you go. Now,
we'll see.
that's good to know, but it's also good to know for, what do you think, how do you think you should play out, your marketing for the next couple of weeks? What services are you going to start promoting because potentially the weather patterns are going to be like this, which leads to these conditions, and so then you can start to promote those services in a certain way.
I'll be glad, to get seed in the ground because it's going to be perfect grass growing weather, you know, other than dry. But, consumers are going to have to water or turn their irrigation on or
Yeah, which we recommend
whatever.
anyway,
We give
most of
them
the times
those,
anyway,
yeah,
so
we give them those directions anyway. But
a little less stressful if it's 70 versus 90.
90, trying to make it happen. Our aerator may actually be able to get into the ground without having to drive up the hydraulic down pressure, which is always fun when you can pull a nice plug for somebody. But I will say our aerator with that down pressure that we've got, we've had that thing now a long time. That or switch to that hydraulic down pressure type aeration, and it is nice when it does get dry in the fall, where a lot of guys are can't go out and aerate, where we still can,
Yeah.
But anyways, there you go. There's your weather forecast right from bamwx.com. Reach out to them. But hey, I want to give Aaron a big shout out on his show this morning, and Daniel talked a little bit about supplements, and here we are into profit time talking about the lottery. But hey, that's okay too. That's okay too. I did want everybody that's in the profit circle with us tonight. We have our monthly Zoom meeting, our recap meeting. So you should have your meeting links in your email.
Yep, just re-emailed those out or put it back at least in the profit circle. You should get an email this morning too.
So
Fresh.
yes, indeedy. So we'll see everybody tonight at 7 p.m. on that, and look forward to that. We got some really fun things we're going to talk about tonight, as well as recap, our month like we always do, and would love to have you in there with us. So check it out. But I wanted to share a story with you guys. And Daniel, I don't know if you heard Kyle tell this story yesterday or not, but I think you did. But I had something happen for the first time in 46 years we've been in business. Yesterday, Kyle was talking about that we had a customer, Mr. Poulter, that passed away a month or a couple months ago, and he was our longest standing customer that was still alive. Uh, I guess that's the right way of saying that, you know, because our long timers now are falling out, but we got new long timers that are filling in. But Mr. Poulter had been a customer with us since 1996. So, it's almost 30 years.
It's almost as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Oh my God, Daniel, that's crazy. That's crazy. Uh, uh, that's something. That's something. But yeah, Mike, we'll talk about that in just a second. Um, but anyway, so we've been maintaining the yard for his estate, until they sell it. And Kyle got a call the other day from one of our past customers that actually moved out of our service area, that was moving back into Jefferson County. And he said, Kyle, he said, hey, he said, I just bought a house, or I'm getting ready to buy a house. And he said, I was over there the other day looking at some things. We're going to do some renovations and whatnot. And he said, your all's crew pulled up to mow the yard. He said, he said, I told my wife that, hey, when we get that, we'll give Kyle and them a call back at Wayne's Lawn Service to mow the yard. And he says, there y'all were already mowing it for this guy. And I just, we've all been through that transition of customers dying or moving or whatever happens. And, a lot of times they don't turn into the new owner doesn't turn into an account. Sometimes they do. But this was pretty cool that the guy that's buying or I thought it was, the guy that was buying the house was actually a past customer. So I don't know. What do y'all think of that?
That's like what are the odds kind of thing, 1 in 292 million.
What? Katie's got a thought on that. She's going to borrow Daniel's headset.
Okay, so one thing that we do specifically to try to get that new homeowner is we send a new homeowner letter explaining that we were providing service. Here's all the services that we provide, with also a mention of a special like pricing, discount, etc., to try to encourage them to continue on using our service.
Yeah, call of action. Give them a reason to holler at us. So absolutely. So that's a great point to make, Katie, too. So we do attempt and we do get some, but this is the first one that kind of just fell in our lap, if you will. So we're looking forward to having Chuck back with us. So absolutely. Sad to see Mr. Poulter go, but he was always a good customer, always a prepay customer, always had us, full service kind of customer, man. Mow, spray, mulch, trim twice a year, fall leaves. I mean, it was a good account to have. And yeah, so we're going to miss Mr. Poulter for sure. And God, I remember even when I was out running a crew doing Mr. Poulter's yard, he'd always have Coke or Diet Coke, you know, sitting out there waiting for you, whatever you wanted.
It's nice.
Yeah, he was really cool. And Mr. and Miss Shola right down the street, they were always awesome too. I never will forget going to see them, and they both have since passed away, and now their son's in the house. We're taking care of the house for him, but man, they were always really nice too. So I know you guys have customers like that. I just wasn't. I don't want to get too sentimental and start crying on y'all, but anyways, Mike said it's definitely dried out down there where he's at. It's also funny how quick customers forget about levelized service agreement billing. Said he had 2 calls this week from mow only customers asking, "Can you trim my bushes with the 30 minutes you'd usually mow since I'm
Oh my
still being
God.
charged for it?" Absolutely not, man.
Oh gosh.
What do you think of that,
That's a
Daniel?
good one. I mean,
That's a good one, yeah.
that's very, creative thought process.
I mean, 30 minutes isn't 30 minutes, though.
That's
I
the
mean,
thing that
that's that
people
they don't
don't
understand,
get. Yeah, it's not a flat thing. It's yeah.
you know.
But I mean, it is a thought.
It is a thought. I mean, they're trying.
Yeah, rent my time and just set your price per hour a little higher, and you can have
Yeah.
them, get IT service, or I can come in and set your phone up and get the app
Yeah.
rolling, or whatever, get you a haircut or whatever you need.
Yeah, we'll just be you do whatever you need but yeah, we'll come in there. We got 9 minutes to spend on your yard, so however you want to do it. Yeah, we'll give you the best 9 minutes we can.
Set your YouTube TV up for you.
Yeah, that might be good, but that is kind of funny. And but to Mike's point, it does happen. They do get very creative. Uh, Mike says they may have won a trip to the off list for next season, but no, I don't know that it have to be that extreme. I mean, they might quit, because you don't do that. But I don't know that it's you know, I don't know. They just don't know what they don't know. And
Yeah,
Mike's right. Maybe she wants a handyman instead of a professional mowing and landscape contractor.
yeah.
My mom told my aunt that one time.
And there's room for both. I mean,
Absolutely.
you can have both. That lady can have you
Absolutely.
and them.
Let's see. Stephen West, our buddy from Sigma Organics, you guys know him. He's been on here quite a bit. He said, I always appreciate when customers have something for me or Mike when we deliver. Those relationships are the ones that tend to be better accounts. Damn, I feel bad for not giving Mike something this morning. He delivered our seed for us. Katie said, does an air high five count, Stephen? Because she just gave you one out the window. So we'll have to do that.
It's a Bluetooth high five.
A Bluetooth high five. Yeah. But no, I think that's right, Stephen. It does make you feel good when the customers show you a little love. We do always offer Stephen and them something to drink or anything out of the refrigerator, though,
Yeah.
here in the office. So, yeah, we do that. So he said, hell yeah, 5-5s count. Da-da, she just gave you another one. Daniel just gave you one. So, yeah, you're getting love from the team here. So, and as always, Mike did a great job delivering for us. Came in here, grabbed a forklift, unloaded our pallet grass seed for us, and it's in the shop. So, I appreciate him, unloading our material. It's always cool. He comes in, just hops right on the forklift and says, "Hey, man, where you want your stuff?" And great company to work with. If you need somebody good, I give them a holler. Sigma Organics, Stephen West. You guys have heard him on here many, many times. But let's see what we got here. Craig said, customers wanting to make changes to their service agreements. Why does that sound familiar? You know, uh, Craig shared a story, and we're actually going to talk about that, so we might as well get to it. We'll talk about it now, Craig. But Craig reached out to us and just asked our opinion in the profit circle about he's got a customer that the reality of it has unrealistic expectations, and basically as a summary on it, and I was going to also talk about this a little bit tonight in the profit circle, but we spend a few minutes with it today for sure too. But he's been maintaining this customer's property, got their lawn looking really nice, but there's an issue, and here goes the wife husband battle, if you will, in play. The wife doesn't like herbicides, but she likes a spectacular landscape bed. Yeah. And the husband's like, "Man, can you just please help me?" And Craig's trying to help, but they won't accept help. And what I mean by that is they don't want herbicides. They won't put any mulch down. They won't put any fabric down. They won't do anything to help keep weeds out. Craig's contract states that their regular maintenance doesn't include hand labor, and they don't want to pay for any extra hand labor service or hand labor service. So they just, I guess, assume that it's supposed to be taken care of with the mowing side of it. And,
yeah.
He just got our opinion on that.
Well, that goes back to what you just talked about 30 minutes isn't 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe in their head, well, we know it doesn't take 11 minutes to mow our lawn this time of year, so why don't you just spend an extra 6 minutes pulling the weeds or whatever, so, but it goes back to what we're just talking about. So
now something like that, in all honesty, and I wouldn't mind doing little bed pulling for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
Right. But it does go back to your point of, hey, we did this double cut during the spring, so during this time of year we can make up for it too.
That's right. So there's got to be balance in those contracts, but they forget all the time and effort that you put into it in the spring and summer, especially a year like this year, for God's sakes. It's always harder in the spring, but this year with all the rain, we were most of us were trying to work around, and now they want to figure out, loopholes, if you will. But yeah, so I don't know. So long story short, with Craig's situation, his biggest problem with them, he said, was whenever they would reach out questioning and wanting help, he would try to reach out to them, but they would never respond. So there it goes back to what communication being a problem. They want to complain, but they won't let him solve their problem.
Yeah.
And
the crazy thing is, it seems like,
and I know you guys have all had this happen.
Yeah. And it seems like this problem is it's in a pretty affordable fix too, right? Like, yeah, it might be additional charge, but it's not that the additional charge is going to be thousands of dollars, it's
right.
It's the way that you want it, as the customer want it done. And it's not that big of a deal per se. So why not just do it?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And when you got a problem, why would you not respond to the contractor when they're trying to reach out to you to solve the problem? I just don't understand that whole mindset, Mike said, Craig, he's happy that you shared that in the profit circle because he feels like sometimes that's just a me problem. And it is. I think, like I said, I think it's something that affects us all to some extent. I mean, Mike said he hates it that it happened to you, but and like I said, we'll talk more about it tonight in our Zoom meeting. But you know, it's nice to know that you're not out there in the water alone with the alligators.
Yeah.
I mean, there's somebody else out there that
And
that's
maybe
out
what
there.
I don't know if I can't remember. I don't think he specifically said, other than it kind of has happened several times. But this could be one of those things that, if it specifically is the wife, and it could be the husband. It doesn't matter in this situation who it is. It could be either one. But if one party kind of cares, but then again, it's like I don't really care, but it's something that when I'm stressed out or anxious or nervous or other things are going wrong, then I think about it, and then it's up to the other person to reach out. But the other person knows that they're just saying it because other things are bothering them, so they don't really care to fix it. But it's just, let me go say I reached out to the landscaper to say I did something, but then the next day it's a non-issue anymore, so I'm not going to worry about getting it fixed. Who
Yeah,
knows what the situation is? That
but
maybe it's really more of a what is it called when it's not the main problem, but it's just this kind of a side effect
uh,
problem,
yeah.
of just their life as a whole.
Well, and I think this morning, uh, Craig actually tried reaching out again, to them, and finally the guy said, well, hey, it's probably just best that we cancel service. And that was kind of the way I looked at it too, as sometimes the best thing is a separation. Let you go your way, I'll go my way. We remain we remain friends in the situation, if you will, or at least we have a professional uh, relationship by by what do you call that? Just cutting off the relationship, basically, is what it really amounts to. So, I don't think there was a good solution to it when, first of all, communication was a problem. Secondly, the solutions that he was offering were fair and equitable. Hey, we need to mulch it. We need to put some fabric down. You know, we need to do something. We just can't say, well, what are you going to do to fix it? And then not allow me to fix it. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes back to, like Craig said, it's that 95-5 rule that we talk about all the time here, that, 5% of your customers are 95% of your problems.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the reality of it too. I mean, I can't tell you, and I know it's the same for you guys, how many customers we have that you never hear from. You just provide the service, and they're happy with the service, and they got things in their life going on too, that they just do their thing, we do our thing, everybody's happy. But and it's not that you don't want to hear from your customers at all, because that personal contact's important, and we'll talk about that, another show, another day. But the reality of it is, you know it it happens to the best of us, to say the least. And I think probably it's good riddance with Craig and them for now. And I think, like I told Craig, I think really what's going to happen, Daniel, and I think that because the lawn's in such nice shape, they may come back, and they'll either come back with an open mind of, okay, yeah, we need to do at least some mulch, to help with this. Or they come back and say, hey, my wife and I has figured the bed thing out. Our lawn looks really nice, and these other guys aren't showing up, and they're not keeping the lawn up like you did. Would you take us back? So that's one of those customers that kind of hits the bubble, if you will, of, okay, do we retarget them with our marketing or do we not? That's only a decision Craig can make. You know, it's, each of us individually decide who do we want, and who do we want with changes, and who do we want back, or maybe no, I'm just tired of dealing with it, and now I can breathe and my chest don't hurt and I can sleep at night, because I'm not worried about Miss Smith calling anymore. So, and sometimes people, to Seth made a good point. Sometimes customers just like to complain to hear themselves talk. And that was a really good point Katie made the Monday night in our webinar uh, in the profit circle is the importance of listening, to get you through situations. But sometimes backflips on the front porch aren't enough too. So that's the reality of that. But, so I wish you the best of luck with that, Craig. Even though they've canceled now, I get it. I understand it. But they might come back with a different mindset, a different idea, a different opinion on, what's important to them. And, you're generally not going to change the mindset of I don't want Roundup sprayed in my yard, or I don't want to use Preen or Crew or Snapshot, whatever type of, product you may be using. But we have decided maybe to go ahead and pay for a little hand maintenance, monthly or however they want to do it. So Stephen West makes a good point. He says, realistically, he thinks the couple needs to figure out how to solve the problem between themselves and then let Craig solve the problem, and I think that's it. When the contractor's the middleman, the contractor's the bad guy. It's almost like good cop, bad cop kind of thing, is the way I look at it. So, and I appreciate all y'all's input on that, Craig said he's got 2 yards across the street from him, so they're going to see us every week out there. So,
keep them on the
the
front of your, or they
keep him on a front burner.
You on the front of their mind.
Yeah, that's right. They're seeing you, and they're seeing the result. Now, the best thing that Craig hopes for is the next guy they hire does a half-assed job. And then they get to come back, and they come back at a fair rate. And I don't mean take advantage of them, but a lot of times when a customer's been with you long enough time to get their yard in pretty good shape, they may be on a different pricing level than new clients coming in.
Yeah. And then you can also set up, if you hopefully you have some notes on this person when they come back. Oh, I remember this. They had this issue. Hey, let's talk about setting up a little bit different of a plan this time to where weed pulling is built into the regular maintenance or whatever for a little bit more, but then it's spread out over the whole year instead of X amount 1 or 2 times per year, however you want to set it up, but just making that note. So when the next time, if it does happen, that you can kind of, attack it that way.
But, Daniel and I were talking about it the other day before we did the video response to that question for Craig. Asphalt's an option. No, won't we just fill in the landscape beds with concrete or asphalt? If you don't want weeds, here we go. This is a good way to eliminate a whole lot of them. But sometimes we do have to resort to thinking sarcastically, but we just can't act it out.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how much we've ever even used it, but what about not in this particular situation, but maybe think about it as like an alternative to even rock, but like people that use shell in their landscaping. How much of a like weed preventer or more weeds or whatever
problem do you have? Yeah. I don't know if we've never used it. I'd be curious for you contractors maybe listening to us in a market where you do see some shell. Is that a pretty good weed barrier? So I would think with shell it'd be kind of like rocks that you would use a fabric underneath it, and that'd be a good topic to talk about too, Daniel. Is fabric, not plastic bags. Because you see so much of that. Oh my God, I can't tell y'all how much we run into that on the residential market here. We'll go clean something up, and the previous contractor used plastic bags, for God's sakes. And I mean it works fine. It works fine, but it's very detrimental to the plants potentially. So, but that's another story for another day. But we had a problematic customer too. I mean, just this guy this morning. I got a video or a thing I'm gonna play for y'all. This was a message from a guy yesterday. So we edited it down a little bit, his name and address, just to kind of protect him. I mean, we don't care, but just to kind of protect him. But this was the message that he left yesterday for. So I want you guys to hear it. And it's got nothing about work we've done. It was like getting the work done. And then we'll go from there. Here we go.
I'm still waiting on someone to contact me to schedule a time for weed removal, weed cleanup. I've paid the deposit, and the estimate was 7 to 10 days, and now it's been about 8 in Claremore Drive. I'm still waiting on someone to contact.
So here we go. I've paid my deposit. The estimate said 7 to 10 days. Now we're on day 8. Here, and did you guys hear the little laugh in there? Here, let me play it one more time. Just I want to be sure to get that. Just listen to the little laugh in there, and then I got a question.
The estimate was 7 to 10 days, and now it's been about 8 in Claremore Drive.
So what do you all think about that little laugh? Was it sarcasm laugh? Or Kyle had a good point on that this morning when I asked him. I said, "Do you think it's a sarcasm laugh?" And Kyle says, "No." He said, "I think he realized how stupid it sounded when he said it." What do you think, Daniel? I think it could be both or neither.
I think I'm inclined to think it's sarcasm, but I'm also inclined to think, because now that I've really listened to it, when he says, I've been waiting for a call to have something scheduled. So I think he's thinking, okay, it's been 7 days, and I have until the 10th day, according to their agreement, but no one's even reached out to schedule something. So I think in his mind, he was expecting us to reach out to schedule instead of just having us put it on our books and go do it.
Right.
I think that's where his confusion was with this process.
You know, and I think you're right. And that's something that we actually talked about here after that phone call yesterday. That may be something that we learned from that phone call. That is, we do reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
And even though we got it on a schedule board, right? And let them know, hey, we've got you scheduled for September 5th.
Right.
You know, weather permitting.
Yeah.
You know, now this may or may not even made this guy feel any better because, you know, who knows? But I think we always do look for how can we make our company better, right? I mean, and maybe that's something our takeaway from this is.
Yeah. And I mean, based on past experience, most people really don't care when you come, especially because we're an outside service. They don't need to be home. If someone wants to be home, then they'll kind of state that, and then you do reach out when you're going to be there and things like that. But for the most part, I feel like the way that we do it, most people are just go with the flow with.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a big issue or if it's like or if it's an opportunity to maybe stand out in a way that a lot of people, you know, companies in this industry aren't doing that. So it could help, you know, create a little bit more of that feel good feeling, even though people don't know right now that they want that. I don't know.
Right. I agree. And I think that's our learning lesson on it is maybe we do let people know once they've hit a scheduled date, you know, but I could go either way on the little laugh. I took it as a sarcasm laugh. Some of you guys have too, based on this.
I wonder. What was I wondering?
Well, Stephen West's idea, while you're wondering, said keywords estimated time.
That's
you
true
know,
too.
You know, he said WLS is still within the window. Calm down, Toronto or Tunnel.
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder too if the complete implementation of our software would help with this as well, potentially. Like, would that send out to them? I don't know, Katie, if you know that, or if that's the functionality of like, hey, it's now kind of, we're scheduling you for this date, and then it sends them like, hey, we're going to be there on this thing. I don't know if it does that, but that is the benefit of software, is that it takes care of a lot of that stuff for you, and it does make your customer
Right.
kind of feel more in the loop on a lot of things.
Mike said he took it as a guy's being an ass, and it was sarcasm and a laugh. I probably was. I mean, I don't
think it
know.
depends how you interpret what his thoughts were.
Yeah.
Right? If you interpret them my way, I guess you could say, then in more of it's sarcasm. If you interpret it that he doesn't understand that 8 is between 7 and 10, then maybe he did have that realization and he's kind of laughing at himself.
Well, yeah, and that brings us to another point with this guy. By the way, Katie, Craig said that was a loud sneeze. Yeah, she gets that from me. Oh God, I'm not going to tell him that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Gotta love her. Gotta love her. Jane used to always say I couldn't have spit anybody out more like me than her, but that's probably true. What do you think, Daniel?
Pretty close.
Katie said, was that a sarcastic laugh on my side, or I ain't gonna tell you the rest. Oh my God, we're a PG show here. But anyways,
profit guided.
Let's see. God, you got me so messed up. I forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, for God, we're running out of time already. Can you believe it? But hey, this guy also here's another thing, and yeah, Fred, you're 100%, man, and we talked about that yesterday too. Fred said, if you tell them a particular day or time, trying to be kind, and you miss it, then you got another potential problem. Yeah. That's, well, what happened? Because they don't read the part that even with our proposals, it says whatever time frame, we change it based on where our backlog's at for that type of work. 7 to 10 days, 14 to 21, whatever. But it does say weather permitting. Now, and right now, weather's not an issue, but that's something that some people forget to read there too, is the weather permitting side of that, so, but no, that's absolutely a great point, Fred, to say the least.
Being a consumer of certain services, I will say that transparency and communication is always going to win out, though. It's always going to make you feel better as a consumer.
Yeah. And Stephen makes a point here that's important, but the customer doesn't care. He said, customers forget to remember that WLS is dealing with hundreds of accounts.
Right.
But to them, and we want them to feel like they're the only account.
Right.
Because that's all that matters.
Yeah.
One-on-one.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a certain percentage of your clients that just know that because of their business experience or their position in a given business or whatever. But
they're business owners or managers or self.
Yeah. A lot of them just, okay, that's, I'm number one kind of deal.
Yeah. But no, that's exactly right, Stephen. Because hell, we've even had them tell us that before. That, well, I don't care how much business you got on your books. So I need my work done now. But let's see what Mike's got to say on that. Mike said he's surprised Daniel hasn't killed somebody after that door experience. That was,
I was sitting here thinking about that.
Were you?
It's easy to get in the moment and be frustrated, which I definitely was. And but looking back, even then, I still held the position that, hey, they can't really do anything about this.
Right.
As much as it sucks for me to have this happen 3 or whatever it was times.
Yeah, with the rain.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, that's right. Because they were in a very similar position to us.
Yeah.
You can only do what you can do on a rain day.
Yeah.
And that does change things up. Oh, goodness gracious. But anyways, I don't know. Another issue we had with this guy and Katie, he says, what if I pay cash? And this goes back to 2 weeks ago when he was paying his deposit. And Katie's like, well, you can pay cash, if you want to bring it by. And he said, well, no, I'll just send it in the mail. And we're like, no, don't send it in the mail. He's like, no, I'll just send it in the mail. And, because then we thought there's going to be another problem. We're going to get a review online that says, hey, I sent them cash. They said they didn't get it. And so anyway, and again, that's the first time that's ever happened to us. That somebody wanted to pay cash, but then the problem is going to be, hey, or okay, fine, run it by, or we'll pick it up, or whatever,
Yeah. I mean, that's even problematic depending on your situation, whether they drop it by or not. Like, I mean, you could easily always make that claim, oh, well, I dropped it by their business and they said that they didn't, whatever.
So anyway, after he said he was going to mail us the cash in, about 3 or 4 days later, we get an envelope that he mailed. We open it up and it's a check.
Maybe.
And
had a second thoughts
like
on it.
He didn't. Yeah. But then we're thinking, okay, the guy got smart, and realized, hey man, I'm not going to put cash in the mail. So today, this guy's story just keeps going, y'all. Just keeps getting better. Yeah. So today, we'll save the today we go out to do the work side of this, but and the job got completed this morning, because he really was on our schedule board for today. Him crying didn't get him moved up. He was scheduled for today because that was within that 7 to 10 day time frame, and had not requested a call ahead. That's the other side of it, because y'all know how that works, right? People want to call ahead. Fine, you'll call them, let them know when you get them scheduled. But he hadn't requested a call ahead. But and we're not going to suggest that to people. Hey, do you want that? Because y'all know what the call aheads are a pain in the butt. They really are. But anyways, he calls after the fact and he said, hey, your guys were here, your guys left. I was planning on paying them, but they're already gone. I need a revised invoice. I never got a revised invoice for what my cash amount was going to be. And we're like,
so
you didn't pay cash. I mean, a check made to Wayne's Lawn Service.
Was his?
We don't know yet. We hadn't talked to him. We're scared to call him. No, not literally, but
yeah,
it's like
probably not going to be a fun thing.
It's going to be a conversation. A check's not cash. If you want to pay cash, hey, you've paid your deposit. We'll subtract the deposit, and you can pay the balance in cash and save your 6% or whatever, 5%, 3%, whatever the discount was for doing cash. But I'm sure that's going to be its own conversation. Well, I did pay cash. No, a check's not cash. So another thing he didn't understand was on the cleanup. And here we go. Again, we're going to just touch on this. No, I'll tell you, no, we're not, because we're already over time. But you guys in a profit circle, join us tonight for the other part of the conversation.
The rest of the story.
With the rest of the story. We'll have the Paul Harvey part of the story as somebody that listens to us told me one time that, I didn't know the whole story, so shut the hell up. But, I think I did have a pretty good handle on the story. So, but anyways, that's nor here nor there. But it's been quite the adventure. So we all work with customers like that. Sometimes we feel like killing them, right? I mean, not this guy particularly. He ain't got that bad yet. But Shirley, how about you guys? How many of you guys have had situations like this? I want to feel like, Craig right now, know that we're not out in the water alone. How many of you guys have had these weird situations like this? I know we can't be the only ones. No way. It's only. And Mike said he probably expects 50% off. Absolutely. It was like one time, speaking of discounts, oh my God. Oh Lord, just got a neat text from. It says hi. They sent a hell of a text out here. I'm Evelyn from the Indeed's hiring team. We have an exciting remote job opening tonight. Do you need candidates?
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God. No, thank you, Evelyn. We'll have to figure out how to get rid of Evelyn. But God, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
Discount.
This discount. Yeah, said he probably wants 50%. What about people that want to pay you with gift cards? Oh my, that could be a fun topic. That we're going to write
Especially
that
when it's
down.
to your own service.
Yeah, yeah. I told a guy one time I wanted to. It was fast food. I hate working with fast food. I just do. Matter of fact, that we don't very much. I mean, if we do, it's only by accident. Matter of fact, we're trying to do a little business with Chick-fil-A, but they got a really good understanding of business and business models. So
But they're not fast food.
but they're not fast food. They're food fast. That's true. That was a nice little shout out for them, Daniel. But I had these guys. It was Taco Bell. That's who it was. It was Taco Bell, and this goes back many years. But they're like, "Hey, can we pay you 50% in food coupons? What the hell? Gift cards, food cards?" And I'm like, "No, absolutely not." I said, "I appreciate the offer, but we want to be paid with cash, and we'll buy what we want to with it." Basically, I don't even remember how I said it, but that was the gist of it, And I don't know why people want to get creative with lawn and landscaping businesses or service businesses in general, and think number one, we're starving to death, so you're gonna work us down on pricing because of that, and or make us do some things that aren't ethical. And I'm not saying taking a food coupon is not ethical, but I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. They get very creative with some of this sometimes. So, anyways, good Lord. See, Mike says, can you imagine being paid with $300 worth of hot sauce pouches? True that, man. Hey, could you make half of those medium, please? We did have Subway beat us out of about $1,200 on a landscape. So,
a lot of footlongs.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do was order a bunch of footlongs and then go over and pick them up and tell them, never mind.
Even.
Now we're even. We don't want them,
Gosh.
So, but that would be not a professional thing to do, but it sure would make you feel good. Sure would make you feel good, to say the least. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, Craig, you're right on target. Craig says, yeah, they want to save money, give you a $50 coupon that costs them $20 in food. Absolute. That's it. That's it. That's 100%. Oh, Stephen West, this is really good. He says, when I hear of a customer that thinks they should go to the front of the line, I tend to think they'll be part of the 5% problem customers. Absolutely.
So to wrap that up, is there anything that you would not, of course, every time, but as a one-off, is there anything that you would accept besides money, let's call it?
Yeah, we actually did some barter with on a truck with a dealership.
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of,
but we knew the cost of the truck. They knew the cost of the service.
Less professional, I guess you could say, like not business related.
I did one time, and this has probably happened to guys. Yeah, people offered to trade off favors. I never will forget that. First time it happened to me, I was completely caught off guard. I was hot and sweaty. I was up in Audubon Park mowing a lawn, and the neighbor walks across the street, and she's like, "Hey, can you mow my yard? And what's the cost going to be?" And I told her, and she says, "Well, can we take it out and trade?" And I'm like, "Trade?" So that's a pretty crazy event. I'm sure that's happened to some of you guys. Come on, some of you guys listen to me. You let me know if that's happened to you all too. Because I know I've talked to, yeah, Mike. I knew it. See?
Wasn't there somebody? There was somebody who shared a story of letting them rent their have their vacation home.
Oh, who was that? Yes. Somebody did want to let us stay.
Was it us? I couldn't remember who it was, if it was us or not.
Who told us about that? Yeah, true that, Mike. Mike said
But-
yeah, it's absolutely happened. Somebody did tell us that. It might have been here on Turf's Up.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been.
Where
But
they,
let's say back in the day, with it's just you and
would I have done that?
would you forget it's a year-long service?
No, I got it.
Let's say, okay, well, will you do this landscaping for me, and I'll give you a week, in my condo in
Yeah.
Siesta Key.
See, absolutely I'd have done it. Still might do it. Yeah. Kyle said still would what I did.
If it's something that's directly applicable.
No, yeah. Something that the value of the exchange is comparable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do something like that. Because her job's never hitting the books and my condo's free. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. Seth said he had a lady message him earlier if he would want to trade out new furniture for landscaping work. He said the kind thing was it was 4 a.m. God.
Hey.
Oh my God. That was one of the best things I ever did, you all. And I know we're way over time, but King Darren hadn't texted me, but we'll just keep going for a few minutes. One of the freest moments you're going to feel is when your phone is not connected to your customer's lifestyle. And what I mean by that is they don't have your phone number to text you at 4 a.m, 9 p.m. When you finally go to a business line, I know you guys, some of you guys are thinking, no, it's about the relationship and all that. I'm here to tell you, I bet there's not 10 customers that have my phone number anymore. It took a long time to wean it out and change it up. And I know this phone system we got now is pretty cool that you can actually go to your phone if you're off, or not off, but out, and it dials from your office line versus your phone line. And then if they do respond, it comes back through our phone system number. But yeah, that's crazy because they don't have any concern, they just don't have any concern for texting you at any hour, Let's see. Oh my God. Mike said one time, when it starts out with one time, this had to be an 80-plus-year-old lady kept inviting me inside to cool off while she wore nothing but a robe.
Oh my gosh.
Then that happened about 9 years ago now. Then I found out a few years back she was a widow and deceased husband was a big shot in oil. He said, realistically, I could be on the beach right now.
There you go.
Oh my God. What do you think of that? That could
Never
be all
know.
right too. You never know. But then,
Opportunities.
then you wouldn't have your kids and your wife and Mike. So, hey, your kids and your wife, you can't put a value on those things, man. Although sometimes we try, but
Insurance can.
insurance can, yeah, for sure. You put a life insurance policy value on them. But all joking aside, man, hey, we're going to hop off here. We've taken this to an extended version and got crazy a little bit with it. But, the crazy client expectation thing, I appreciate all your all's input on that. And certainly look forward to seeing you guys in the Profit Circle tonight for our monthly recap Zoom meeting at 7 p.m. That is Eastern Standard Time. Aaron Walls, if by chance you're listening to us, that is 6 o'clock Central Time. And different times as you move across the country. So, but 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll see you guys. We appreciate you being on, Daniel. Thanks for hopping on again today with me.
Thanks for
And
having me.
we look forward to seeing you guys on Friday. Labor Day weekend's coming up. Friday, we'll talk a little bit about what you guys are going to be doing or not doing. Let's see. True that. So it happened in a hurry. So Seth says, have a great day, everybody. So appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys make the show what it is. Be sure to share Turfs Up Radio with everybody. We appreciate you guys that listen to us on the podcast version of our show. All we ask is that, if you don't mind, next time you're on the podcast or wherever you listen to it, leave us a rating and a review. We'd certainly appreciate it. And also on our Profits Unlimited podcast, we'd appreciate that. So with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing everybody tonight. And remember, as always, profit is not a dirty word. We'll see you Friday.